Dear Princess Celestia, I hope you're reading this, Princess, 'cause Mrs. Scroll said she'd send you all of our letters, and that you'd read them, and everything. I think that's really neat, 'cause I bet you're busy and stuff, but you do this 'cause you want to. Hang on, Mrs. Scrolls just told me that we need to introduce ourselves in the beginning when we write letters to some pony. Isn't that weird, Princess? Don't we have to write our names on the bottom or something anyway? Well, if Mrs. Scrolls says we have to do it, then I guess we have to do it. 'Cause Mrs. Scrolls is a really smart mare, Princess. And I think she might be the smartest pony ever, 'cause she knows stuff my pa doesn't even know, and he's really, really smart about stuff. Hello, my name is Gumdrop, and I go to school at Shady Springs Grade School in Baltimore. Why do you think we have to put capitalized names of places, Princess? Is it 'cause it's like how I have to capitalize my name? Or do ponies just get mad when you write it different? Hang on, Mrs. Scrolls just told every pony that we can only ask you a couple of questions. 'Cause if we don't, then we all might write too much stuff, and then you wouldn't be able to read every pony's letters, 'cause it'd take too long. I'm sorry for all the questions that I've been asking you then, Princess. It's not nice of me to try and take up all of your time and stuff. But if you have to ignore some pony's letter, could you please throw away crystal shards? She and her friends are mean to me and Tulip, 'cause we don't have our cutie marks yet. Mrs. Scrolls keeps yelling at her to stop being mean, and I keep telling her that I'll tell on her, but she keeps doing it. Did any pony ever pick on you when you were in school, Princess? I don't think so, 'cause you're big, and you have a big horn, and you're a princess and stuff. But Tulip said some ponies might have picked on you when you were little, because they'd think you look all weird being all big like that. Can you believe that? Daddy told me that you were about 1,000,000,000,000,000 years old, and since Mrs. Scrolls told me that's when the dinosaurs were running around, and there weren't ponies back then, I don't think any pony could have picked on you. Unless the dinosaurs could talk, and since they were bigger than you, they were mean to you, I guess. Were they talking dinosaurs, Princess? Did you get to talk with any of them if they could? I bet that would have been neat, having all of those big things running around and telling you good morning when you walked past them to go to the store to get milk. But then there would be a T-Rex, and he'd come stomping in and roaring, and then him and one of those long-necked dinosaurs would fight and stuff. Did you and your sister ever have to hide from a big mean dinosaur, Princess? Did you ever have to fight one? I asked Ger Turner, and he said he'd ask you about it in his letter, so you won't have to think about my question, and you can just think about his if you want to. I bet it takes you forever to read all of these, Princess. Mrs. Scrolls is going to send you like 20 letters. That's a bunch. Do you let your little sister read the letters too, so you don't have to read so many? How come we don't send any letters to Princess Luna, Princess? Mrs. Scrolls told us that you like reading letters when we send them to you, so I bet Princess Luna would like it just as much as you. Maybe you could send a letter to Mrs. Scrolls, so we could both send you letters. Then I could ask twice as many questions if I want to. Mrs. Scrolls said we got to finish up writing soon, so we can get back to learning about math. So I can only ask one more question, I think. Princess, do you have any friends? Crystal Shard said the other day at recess that since you were a princess you couldn't have friends, because you were an alicorn and royalty, but my other friend, Swiffer, said of course you had friends, because you were so old, and both of Swiffer's grandparents had lots of friends, because they lived so long, and since you're really, really old, you should have more friends than any pony. Me and Tulip couldn't decide if you have any friends or not, so I went and asked my dad, and Tulip asked her mummy. Pa just told me to go ask my mum when I asked him, and when I asked Mum, she just told me to go to my room. Tulip said that her mum did the same to her when I asked her about it. I think my pa and Mum might be afraid of you, Princess, which I think is weird, 'cause every pony tells me that you're so nice and kind and wise and stuff. But when I asked Pa and Mum if you had any friends or not, they looked at me funny. And not the type of funny that makes you laugh. The day after that, Crystal Shard said that even if you did have a friend once, you haven't had one in so long that you had Princess Twilight go down in some town to write letters about friendship so you could remember what it felt like having a friend. I got real mad at that because she was being really mean to you, and me and Crystal got in a fight. So Mrs. Scrolls told us that we weren't allowed recess for 3 weeks, even when I told her I didn't want a bully to pick on you. The 2 of us had to sit in the corners of the classroom while every pony else got to play outside. So I was mad at Crystal and the teacher, but I thought about what Crystal said. Why would you send Princess Twilight to a town to make friends, Princess? Why would you make her write letters to you about friendship lessons whenever she learnt something new? I make friends all the time, and Mrs. Scrolls doesn't want a friendship report. I even asked her if she wanted one and everything. You have Princess Luna, but my mum said that family was family, and that was different than being your friend. And I don't know if any of those guard ponies that guard you are your friend, and since my mum and pa might be a little scared of you, and other ponies might be scared of you, 'cause you're a big princess and stuff, you might not really have friends. So, me and a few of my friends talked about it, and we all want to know if we could be your friend. I know we're littler than you, and you're a princess, and you're really old, and we're really far away from each other. And you have your cutie mark and most of us don't, but we could be your friends if you want some. Mrs. Scrolls says that we should try to be friends with every pony that we meet. And I don't like it that the ponies around Canterlot didn't get taught that by their teachers. How could they stay away from some pony that's lonely and who probably wants a friend? I don't know if you'll read this letter for a while, Princess, 'cause you're real busy and stuff. But I want you to know that me and Tulip and Swiffer and every pony else will go out and play with you, or help you with princess homework if you want. Because even though you're bigger than every pony, and even though you raise the sun and stuff, that doesn't mean that you can't have some friends. A princess should have more friends than any pony, not no friends at all. Your friend, Gumdrop.